Hey, this is Dr. Gwilliam here. I'm the clinical director for PayDC Chiropractic EHR Software, and I just wanted to show you real quickly how simple and easy it is to create a compliant and fairly attractive daily note for a chiropractic patient. What you're looking at on my screen right now is we just finished a note for Wonder Woman, and it's displayed here in the preview screen, and I can take a look at it. But what I want to do is show you how I'm going to create a note for another patient who just showed up for her typical daily visit. And I'm looking at this SOAP note for Wonder Woman, and I can see on the right that there's a space for patients on deck, and there's a list here for a patient named Mariah Hill. So if I'm ready to go ahead and create the note for Mariah, all I have to do is click here because it's showing anyone who's been checked in already in the scheduler. And so I want you to know that I believe a daily note can be created very nicely and completely and compliantly in about 30 seconds in PayDC. And it's going to take me a little longer because I'm going to provide commentary, but just kind of stay with me here. Since I'm already in someone else's note and I see Mariah's checked in, all I do is I click on her, and that takes me into the SOAP note screen for Mariah, so I can begin to create her record. And in this screen, I can see at the top a dashboard that tells me where I'm at in her care and a list of the previous notes that have been created for her. I go right into the subjective portion because Mariah has now been escorted back into the treatment room, and she's sitting in front of me, and we're ready to get going. Now, I don't even have to speak to her at first. I can just see the link here that she has checked in previously a few minutes ago, and I can review what she did in her check-in that changed from the last time. So I can compare the last note from yesterday to today's note and ask her about anything she needs to clarify. So all the subjective information that I see in front of me can be changed by me if I want to, but I know because of the link here that she changed it herself. So I don't have to do any documentation yet. I just can chat with her a little bit and ask her what's going on. If I need to, I can override any of these things that she has said. But since she did it, I accept it, I can just move on to the objective part of my note. So this is where the clock, I guess, begins to start ticking, right, if I haven't had to update anything. So I move into the objective portion of the note, and I palpated the patient. I decide not to do occiput this time. Maybe I add in T2. I look at tenderness that I documented last time, and I can say this one's a little bit better, this one's resolved. There's some new tenderness over here, and so that one's a little bit worse. I hit OK. Maybe I want to update the spasms as well and say that this one's gotten a little bit better. I hit OK. I don't want to leave the edema alone. I think it's unchanged. So I move down to the assessment, and I can comment on her prognosis. I can leave it the same. I can say she's progressed slightly, but it's a little slower than I thought. I can look at her long-term goals and see if I want to comment on any of them. If I want to comment here on her sleep and say, yeah, you know what, now she can sleep. Now she can sleep 4 hours without pain. That's wonderful. That's going to make this note appear much more customized. I move down to the plan portion of the note. It prompts me if I want to copy the last visit or follow the care plan, and if I want my adjustment areas to be what I documented in my objective findings. I'll say OK, and that's going to suggest the codes based upon the care plan I created previously. It's got 98940 as my CMT because the areas that I marked up above were only 2 regions. If I marked 3, it would have automatically figured it was 98941 for me. The rest of the information, the details are already set up because I did it in the care plan. It's following that care plan in terms of what the services are, why they're being done, what diagnoses are tied to them. And if everything looks good to me, all I have to do is sign the note. It really is that easy. That's a simple, complete, compliant note. And that note has now become a claim because our system is completely integrated and builds it right in to the billing module. And I can scroll down and review this note. I can see it's visit number 3. Here's a summary of the subjective findings. I can see that all the changes have been formatted differently. They're bolded. So it's really easy for an auditor or a reviewer to see what's different from this note compared to the last one. And I can see the objective findings. I can summarize the assessment with my diagnosis codes. Again, there's some bolded items that tell me what's changed from the previous note. And there's a valid electronic signature at the bottom with a time and date stamp. So I have this beautiful record created in 30 seconds or less in a classic, typical daily encounter. PayDC really is that easy and that compliant. So if you are not a client, I hope you give us a call and ask us to show you a little bit more about how this can be done and how we can make your practice fast and smooth and create terrific records. Thanks.